My favorite tool for family businesses when it comes to holidays is to remember that as a family business, there are three different tables that you might sit around. One of them is the family table, or I say the kitchen table. That's where the table you sit around where you're truly family members. You are family members. Everybody around the table is a family member. You're not colleagues around that table. You're not owners around that table. You're family members being family members together. A second table is the conference room table. That's the conference room table where you make business decisions. Day to day, running the business decisions happen around the conference room table. That's where you talk about what's going on in the business, what should we do here, business strategy, things like that. The third table is the boardroom table. That's where you're making bigger, much bigger on the business ownership decisions. Decisions such as, should we keep owning this business? Should we sell this business? How much money do we want out of the business? How much money are we willing to put in the business? Should we own the property where the business is run? Should we sell the property where the business is run? Those kinds of big decisions. For family businesses, well, for the humans in family businesses, what I see get tricky is when you try to sit at all three of those tables at once. You try to sit there and be colleagues and business partners and family members all at the same time around the same table. When you do that, when you or your clients do that, you will find it nearly impossible to make a decision. You will inevitably make everyone, including yourself, unhappy, and you will end up having conflict that does not feel worth it. So the challenge is to be really clear. What is the table we're sitting around right now in this conversation? Guaranteed, in the United States of America, over Thanksgiving, many family businesses made the mistake of having a business conversation with a turkey in the middle of the table. When you have a business conversation with a turkey in the middle of the table, you are all turkeys. That's what my dad called us growing up. I think he was probably really being annoyed and trying not to yell at us when he called us turkeys, right? You're being a turkey when you do that. It's so easy to do. It's so easy to do. You love the business. It's a non-political thing to talk about. It's the thing you spend most of your time thinking about. So it's so easy to bring that business into the dining room. Please, please keep the business conversation out of your dining room and reserve it for your conference room. One compelling reason to do that is to help your non-employee family members get to participate in the conversation. And a second reason to keep your business conversations out of the dining room is probably there are people who you have not invited to your holiday that need to be in on the conversation. Inevitably, most family businesses have at least one person who's not a family member who should be in on conversations that accidentally get held in the dining room. So please keep your business conversations around the conference room and your family conversations around the kitchen table. And then, of course, your owner conversations around the boardroom table. I'm going to say one more thing on that. I know for many, many, many family businesses, that table, meaning the kitchen table and the conference room table and the board table, is actually the same physical table. And that's okay. That's pretty normal, I would say. That same actual physical table is the place where you have those conversations. That's absolutely fine. That's normal. It's awesome. I actually think it's quite beautiful. What will help, though, is if you get super crystal clear when you're at that physical table, what is the kind of conversation we're having? Some tools I've seen people use to do that is they only call each other their nicknames, or mom or dad or gramps or whatever, when it's a family conversation. That's some tools I've seen people use to make that clear. They'll only use those nicknames, or mom or dad or kid or whatever, when it's a family meeting, when it's a kitchen table meeting. They'll reserve first names for the business meetings. And I haven't actually seen this with my own eyes, but I do think it would be cool if maybe they even got a little more formal when it was the owners' meetings. But that might be overkill too, I'll admit. So that is just one little tip, one little trick I've seen people use is your only mom or dad, your only kid or pumpkin or froggy or whatever for the family meetings. At the business meetings, you always go by first